Hey, amazing people. We've got some examples here to work through dealing with a normal distribution. This first one, we're told a set of data is normally distributed with mean 8.3 and standard deviation of 1.2. Sketch for probability distribution function. And a good thing about when you're dealing with normal distributions is the sketches are going to look always largely the same. So you always know what you need to start with, which is going to be a graph like this. Now, in the case here, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to start to include some values. Now, in the case here, the mean is always going to be the middle of a normal distribution. It's also the median and the mode. So this here is going to be 8.3. So that's our median, which we're including here. Now, what we're also told then is we have a standard deviation of 1.2. So in order to work that out, that means we're just moving to the left and the right of where we have the mean here of 8.3 to include these standard deviation values. So as we move to the left here, we're just going to take 1.2 away. So that means here is going to be 7.1. Take 1.2 away again, which gives us 5.9. And taking away 1.2 again gives us 4.7. Okay, now in each case here, we've got the mean, take away 1 standard deviation. The mean, take away 2 standard deviations. And the mean, take away 3 standard deviations here. Likewise, on the right-hand side of the mean here, we're just adding 1.2 to the mean. So we're going to go to 9.5, 10.7, and 11.9, just adding 1.2 each time. And again, this is where we've got the mean plus 1 standard deviation, the mean plus 2 standard deviations. And lastly, the mean plus 3 standard deviation. Now, in this next example, we've been given the graph to begin with, and we're told that a normal distribution has the probability density function below. So from this, we need to find 2 things, the mean and then the standard deviation. Now, first things first is the mean. The mean is always nice and easy to locate on a normal distribution graph. And so that's going to be in the center here. And so straight away, I can say the mean, this is going to be equal to 15.6. And I can see that straight away. Now, the other thing to consider here is the standard deviation. And so this means that when we look at this graph, every single time we make a jump, we are moving 1 standard deviation. Whether we move to the right or we move to the left, we have 1 standard deviation occurring with each of these graphs here. So in order to work this out, what we can do is we can take each of these values away. So if we do this now, we could do 8.8 minus 5.4 and find the value of that, or 12.2 minus 8.8 and find the value of that. And you can see how we can do this to each of these. So the next one is going to be 15.6 minus 12.2, 19 minus 15.6, 22.4 minus 19, and lastly, 25.8 minus 22.4. Now, for each of these, when we work out the answer, we're going to find that we get 1 single result, or we should get 1 single result if the graph is true. So looking at each of the results that we've just gotten here, we can see that we've gotten 3.4 for each of them, which shows us that it is a normal distribution, which we will talk in the question anyway. In this case here, the standard deviation in this graph here is going to be equal to 3.4.